This is the Wolf Tabata workout. It requires nothing more than body weight and perhaps a bench or a chair of some sort. When you progress the exercises at the most highest progressions, all it's going to require are like water bottles or soup cans or even 2 to 3 pound dumbbells. So at its highest level, the equipment demands are minimal, yet the results are maximal. It's a Tabata workout, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, alternating for a 4-minute cycle per exercise. You go through the exercises one at a time. We're going to kick it off with number 1, the step touch sit down squats. Now for this one here, you're going to stand with the back of your legs against a bench or a chair. You want to have your feet not shoulder width apart, but wider than shoulder width apart like that. You're going to begin with your fingers inside your ears and your elbows pushed back. And when you're pushing your elbows back, you should feel a tightening of the muscles between the shoulder blades so that we're working our upper back posture. Now you're going to push your hips back and bend the knees to sit all the way down, stand up, and from the top swing one leg inward to touch the other leg, then back out and repeat. Swing the other leg in, back out, and repeat. So at the top of each squat, you're balancing on one leg as you swing the other leg in and out. Now, the next level of progression is to hold your arms up like so, like your body is the letter Y. So doing this here with the arms overhead is going to increase the postural demands. And a further progression is to take some light dumbbells like this and hold them overhead, keeping your elbows locked out the whole time. Resist the temptation to bend those elbows. That variation, what's going to happen is you're going to work all 4 of the rotator cuff muscles because they all have to tighten around the upper arm bone to keep it in the socket. You're also working all of the muscles of the upper spine to keep you upright. So it's fantastic for upper body posture, plus we're working the hips and thighs. That's a great full body exercise right there. Now the next one we're going to go on to is one arm bent over side leg raises. So I'm going to give you a different view here. I'm going to turn the bench sideways. Now I'm going to be bent forward and I'm going to have one arm on the bench, just like this, okay? Now I'm going to be holding on to perhaps my shoulder right now with the free arm, and I'm going to be doing leg raises, lifting one leg up and out to the side. So I'm working the outsides of my hips. Now as a progression, and I'll just give you a different view here so you can kind of see that I'm just swinging it up and around. Now as a progression, you go on the fist like this, and that's going to help strengthen the wrists. And as a further progression, you take your free arm and you hold it out to the side and up. And what that's going to do is it's going to tighten up the postural muscles in the mid-back again and the rear deltoids and bring some upper body fitness into it. That exercise there is great for the posterior glute medius. You're going to feel it on the outside of the hips. Those are muscles that help keep your hips in really good alignment. They prevent your knees from buckling in to bulletproof your knees. It's a great exercise for overall athleticism. Now the next one we're going to be doing is the stand-up incline push-ups. Now for these ones here, you're going to have a bench, a couch, a chair, something of the like in front of you. You're going to have your hands on it, feet straight out behind you like this, heels up. Now you're going to bend your elbows, lower your chest to the surface, press yourself up. Now you're going to hop your feet in and stand up tall. Plant your hands back down, hop your feet back, and repeat like this. Now, some people, it's a little bit too much jarring for the ankles and knees. If that's you, then what you do is you walk your feet back, do your push-up, walk your feet forward, okay? If this is too low, choose a higher incline if you need to, if this is just too impossible for you. All right, like a high ledge, a counter, a firm table. Now, as a progression, you're going to swing your arms overhead when you stand up. So you plant your hands, jump back, push up, overhead arm swing. Push up, overhead arm swing. As a further progression, we would do this without the use of the bench. So we get the bench out of the way, and you just use the ground. So it would look like this. Overhead arm swing. Overhead arm swing. It's a great exercise. It's really going to get the cardio going. It's great for your chest, shoulders, triceps, core, and a little bit of the legs. So once again, this is a really metabolically demanding exercise, which is going to help you improve your fitness with an exercise you can do just about anywhere with that one there. Now the next one we're going to be doing is knee touch lunges. So this one here, what it is you're standing with your feet together. You're going to take a big step 2 to 3 feet forward, touch your opposite hand to the inside of the knee, and repeat alternating sides, just like this. Now from the side, it looks like this. As a progression, what you're going to do is touch your hand to the inside of the ankle. So it's a little lower now. That's the progression. So I'm going deeper on the lunge. A further progression is to touch your palm flat on top of the foot. So like this. Hand is now going flat on top of the foot. And a final progression is to go with a wide forward lunge. So instead of lunging straight out in front, I'm kind of going like out at a 45-degree angle, like this, and I feel more of a stretch in the groin. I'm keeping my body square to the front, but I'm just taking very wide steps outward. This exercise here, whenever you touch your opposite hand to your opposite leg, it forces the right and left brain hemisphere to connect and communicate. And that helps to reduce postural imbalances that are stemming from a hemisphericity or a dominance of one brain hemisphere. Because each brain hemisphere controls muscle tone on the opposite side of the body. So if they're out of whack, then your posture gets out of whack. And this is much more common than you think, although it's not really assessed for. But we are building it in and getting your brain integrating, your brain hemispheres integrate with that variation of the lunge. But the deeper you go on that, so touching the inside of the ankle, touching the top of the foot, the more it's going to hit your glute max. That's an exercise that'll make your butt hurt the next day. The next one is the wolf. The wolf. This is the namesake exercise of this routine. It's a very unique exercise. You're going to begin in this position here, where you have your hands and feet on a bench. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to raise one arm up and bring the opposite knee forward, lower down, and repeat. Just like this. So it's going to require a lot of rotational core stability because you're preventing yourself from toppling around. So just to give you a complete side view here, your body's straight and it's the opposite arm and leg. Okay? Now there are a number of progressions of this one. The first of which, we're going to bring the knee across to the opposite elbow. So instead of bringing the knee straight forward, it's going to go across like that. So it might be a little harder to see it in video, but the knee is kind of going across in the direction of the arm that's outstretched. And when you bring it across like that, that engages the abs a little bit more. Now, a final progression on that one is to do it straight up from the floor. So doing it from the floor, you're going to begin in a top push-up position like this, and you're going to bring arm and leg forward, lower down and repeat, and it's extremely demanding on the core, all right? It's got rotational stability built into it. It's a pull exercise because you've got to bring that arm up. It's going to work the mid-back. You're also bringing one knee forward. You're bringing in some of the hip flexors. Your core is stabilizing the whole time. It's a powerful, powerful full body exercise. Now, the next one we're going to be doing is the flying T. This is one of my favorite types of exercises for upper body posture, simply because of how simple and effective it is. Now, You're going to be laying face down. You're going to have your forearms on the ground, and your arms are in the letter T, okay? So arms like the letter T, and we're going to be pulsing them up and down. So I'm laying face down like this. The arms are like so with my palms forward. All right, now from this position, I bring them all the way up, and then I flutter them like this. And you're going to do, depending on your speed, you're going to do about 30 to 40 in a 20-second interval. And it's going to burn. Now, if this, you want to keep the rest of your body completely still. So you're literally just moving your shoulder blades. The movement is being driven by your shoulder blades, and your arms are going along for the ride. Now, as a progression, you go with thumbs up on the way up, thumbs down on the way down. So I'm going to show you how that looks. So it's like this. Thumbs up on the way up, down on the way down. That extra bit of rotation is really going to fry those shoulders. And then as a further progression, you could hold on to some light dumbbells, some soup cans, some water bottles, and do it that way, although this is a huge jump. Huge jump, so if you don't get to that point, don't worry about it. Very few people do. Now, the final exercise here is a glute bridge and leg raise combo. I like this exercise because it's going to be hitting up the back of the hips and thighs. It's also going to be hitting up the front of the abs. You're going to want to have your bench, a couch, chair, whatever you need here, whatever you've been using through your workout, and you're going to be resting your lower legs on top like this. Hands are down by your sides. Now, step one, you lift your hips up all the way off the ground using your hamstrings and glutes. Then you lower them down. Then you do a leg raise. Glute bridge, leg raise. Glute bridge, leg raise. Just like that. Now, that might get a little bit easy. So if it is, we do a combo. We do one side at a time, okay? So it would be like this. You do glute bridge and leg raise on one side, glute bridge and leg raise on the other side. So we're kind of fusing them into one motion, just like that. So that's a different progression you can do, and you'll feel that hitting up the hamstrings a lot more, going on to the one-sided variation. And that's alternating. If you wanted to make it even harder, you just do one side at a time, and you would just switch sides every set. That would make it even more intense. So that there concludes the wolf Tabata workout. The brother wolf. Remember, this is all about feeding the beast, because the wolf is your brother in spirit and family. Every living thing is related to you, some experts say. And the wolf is great inspiration for a workout like this. It's resourceful and it's tenacious. And I know you're going to love it. The wolf.